I kissed my best friend and now we don't know what to do. For context, me, 21M, and her, 20AF, have been best friends for at least 8-9 years. I have, amongst other of my male friends, been very good friends with her through her multitude of different groups of friends throughout the years. To make sure this is an easier read, I'll call her A. Growing up through high school together, I watched A get with several of my friends amongst other people for long periods of time, and it was never anything weird between us. It was always platonic. She watched me through relationships, and we always were still very close. When I broke up with my first girlfriend about 4 years ago, however, me and A had a very drunkenly high night that ended up in us kissing and her staying over. And this happened a few times consecutively before we both decided to stop it before it got too much. For context, I live in quite a small town, and when someone finds out about these things, everyone you know unfortunately finds out, especially at that age after high school, UK BTW. So my ex wasn't too happy when she found out, and it was all getting too much. I ended up getting in a relationship following this, as did A, and we forgot about it entirely, still remaining to each other platonically, although not as close as before due to our relationships. My new girlfriend knew what had happened between me and A, always be honest about opposing gender friends, and she knew it was nothing to worry about as she knew I was committed to her. However, this is where things get weird. My new girlfriend and A became very, very good friends, in fact, part of a friendship group with some of my friends' girlfriends. They would go on holiday together amongst the other friends, etc., and despite maybe them, her and A not being the closest in that group, for the period that I was with this girl, 3 years, they were probably closer than I was to A. Fast forward to now. Just under a year ago, I break up with said girlfriend. Everything resumed normally except me, and the A began talking a lot more frequently and seeing each other a lot more. This began normally as friends hinted with a flirtatious vibe, and people started picking up on it and not being very happy about it, especially A's friends within the group. This was understandable as I had broken up with her now good friend, and A was spending time with me too much probably looked weird despite we were friends first. However, one night the drunkenly kiss happened again, and we felt like we were awful people. Stopped before it got too far and went home. Now we both feel like we have betrayed my ex-girlfriend, and further that even if we wanted to be together, the society that we surround ourselves would outrage at the very thought, all of our friends. They obviously could never know as she would guaranteed lose all her friends at this, and understandably so. But yet I keep thinking, every time we're single this is happening. Even when we're just being friends, we're unable to not come across to others like we're in a relationship. I obviously have known this girl forever and know everything about her, and somehow we have developed an attraction in that period to each other, which is very dangerous. The way we look at each other now, the feeling when we're together is so strong and undeniable. In my mind, we would be a fucking great couple, but I guess it's not really viable. The advice I'm after is how do I proceed with the situation? She says she wants to have a serious conversation to talk about it, but I don't know what to say to her. Whether I make a grand speech about confessing my love or admit that it can't go any further. Edit. Thanks so much for all responses, however I have just found out she's going traveling for a year, so maybe best to wait LOL. That throws a spanner in the works. Edit 2. I just want to say I'm blown away by how supportive everyone is and invested. I am seriously so grateful to have so many random strangers on Reddit care about this dynamic and offer their advice. Thanks so much, guys, and please feel free to continue inputting.